Hey everyone, Zeddy here today with a brand new video, and there is huge news in Hearthstone. There was an AMA on Reddit, and a bunch of the devs answered some questions, and they elaborated on a lot of things. Some were just like cosmetic issues, like can we upgrade golden cards easily, can we get auto squelch, things like that. But big actual issues, for the most part, that you'll probably care about is the implications of upcoming nerfs. Ixar had said, I think last week, that they were planning on doing another balance patch this week, and they kind of hinted at what might be in it. So, what are the changes? Well, we'll start off with two big ones. Wild will be getting nerfs. They are going to be addressing the elephant in the room, which we have been complaining about for a long time, and we know is a huge issue in Wild, and that's Quest Mage and Darkest Hour Warlock. So, specifically, they said they're going to be looking at the Mage quest and Bloodbloom. So Open the Waygate and Bloodbloom. Back in my Wild nerf video, I had suggested making Open the Waygate itself, or Time Warp, cost 6. And I had suggested making Bloodbloom cost 3 or 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Bloodbloom goes to 3 or 4, but the more I've thought about it, the more I think they might just completely rework the Mage Quest. Maybe have to do much more spells, although I don't think that addresses it. So, overall, I still think you need to up the cost of Open the Waygate. I originally had said 6. I've actually thought about it more and think, because I had said 6 and make Vargoth 5, I don't think they're going to do that. I think I would straight up make Open the Waygate 7. That way you can't combo with Vargoth easily. It slows Quest Mage down, and overall would just, yeah, it would make the deck a lot more reasonable. So those are the suggested wild nerfs that they had mentioned, but there's also going to be nerfs going standard. Obviously, Demon Hunter is still way too powerful in standard, still the best class. It still basically keeps almost everything at bay. If you look at HS replay win rates here, you have Demon Hunter at the top, you have Warlock second, because, well, it's one of the only classes that kind of counters Demon Hunter, and then everything is negative, because nothing else really can compete with it, and it completely warps the meta. So, they're saying they're looking at 1 or 2 cards for Demon Hunter. 1 or 2. So, what are the 1 or 2 cards I would hope they would hit, or I think they should hit? First and foremost, absolutely 100% is Altruist, the 3-mana 3/2 legendary. When you play a card from your left or right side hand, you deal 1 damage to all enemies. So you play this, you can clear the board while pushing like 1,000,000 damage. It's insanely powerful. Like let's put this picture here. Let's put this picture here, right over here. I tweeted this yesterday. This is a game where I'm on 8 mana with Dragon Queen Alexstrasza in hand for the next turn. I have 2 Kartut Defenders. I have a Prime Minion. I have over 30 health. And I died and lost that game with all of that. Why? Because of Altruist. It cleared my board while pushing at least like 10 to 15 damage. If it just clears the board, it's still powerful, but it's not the end of the world because, well, you just clear that. But because they clear your board, develop other stuff, they just kill you because they've done so much damage. It just shouldn't go face. I would literally just keep the mana cost, keep everything with Altruist, but just shouldn't go face. And then the second card I think they should hit, honestly, Skull of Gul'dan seems too insane even at 6. Honestly, it should be 7. 7 mana, cheat 9 mana. That's still pretty damn good. I feel like Skull, whenever your opponent plays it, they just win. But that's not the card I actually think they'll hit. That's a card I still think they should. But the card I think they'll actually hit is Twin Slice, which is the 0 mana, give your hero +1 attack, add another Twin Slice to your hand, which pushes it to the right, which is really good with Outcast, especially with things like Altruist. So I think they might make one of these cost 1 mana. Maybe the first one. The first Twin Slice costs 1, and the second costs 0. Just so you can't play your early game and attack immediately with it. And, like, you know, you can buff your minion. You can summon a 2/2 with that. So it wouldn't be surprised to see Twin Slice be the other card. But those are 3 that I could at least put out there. There are other really powerful cards, but they could... Demon Hunter needs powerful cards. Every class needs powerful cards. But these just feel broken. These actually just feel straight up broken to me. And I would like to see them at least toned down. And that's not it. There are some other cards they are looking at addressing. It's not just the Demon Hunter cards, which is good. Because it's not just Demon Hunter cards that do need to be looked at. So they mentioned they are going to be looking at Sacrificial Pact. A lot of people have made a fuss on Twitter, on Reddit, and stuff, complaining that it shouldn't target enemy demons, especially with Demon Hunter being so prevalent with the demons. Warlock, you can sack pack their demons. It's insane removal. It's kind of outdated because basically Warlock was the only class that would ever run demons back in the day. And also it could target Jiraxis. Maybe somehow Jiraxis could see play again if sack pack can target him. So I likely see sack pack just getting hit with the it can't target enemy demons. I think that would make sense. It's still nice utility in like Galakron Warlock to sack pack one of your own little 1/1s to heal up. I mean, it suits the flavor of the card, and I think that would be an adequate change. And then they mentioned Bad Luck Albatross. This one's kind of surprising, but I like that they're looking at this card. It's basically a premium stated 3-drop that's really unfun. It disrupts your opponent's deck, it screws Highlander surgeries, which can be good to have that counterplay, but the card's just so powerful, like, playing it on curve, like, it's a 3-mana 4/3, that's not really bad. You're screwing your opponent's draws, that's not really bad. Like, yeah, it's actually really, really strong, and it's a card that's in a lot of decks. Personally, I don't know what you would do to it. I do not want to actually affect the death rattle or the flavor at all. I'd probably just scale the stat line, like make it a 3/3 or 2/3 or something like that. Make it so when you play it, there's a bit of a drawback to playing it, because I do think you need counterplay to Highlander decks. I think it's a cool card to have in the game, but it is a little bit too powerful. I see it, so maybe you scale it back to 3/3, and I think that could be a little bit more reasonable. And then they mentioned Frenzy Fellwing, the 4-mana 3/3 demon. When it costs 1 less for the amount of damage you've dealt to the enemy hero that turn. When I saw this card announced, I said it would get nerfed. Yeah, it's gonna get nerfed. Mana cheat's broken. They'll probably up the mana cost on this. It'll be like 5 or 6, so it's harder to cheat out. But yeah, stop making cards cost 0 so easily, especially for aggressive decks. If they're any good, this card's broken. And yeah, Demon Hunter, this card's absolutely busted. And yep, I called that one. Not that that was that difficult. Stop with the mana cheat, please. Speaking of mana cheat, the last card they said they're mentioning they're taking a look at is Kael'thas Sunstrider, which we've been pointing out as problematic since day one. It was very evident and wild with, the UI, the Miracle Druids, just everything abusing it. And then once the new expansion hit, they pretty like Bog Beam and the spell that costs 0 to taunt your minions, and well, that again made Kael'thas really good in standard and breaks it with all the twin spell. You have the 7-mana heal spell. You have your glowworms, your 2/2s. Like, you have all the ways of cheating. You can even get the 8-mana +2/+2 taunt. Like, it's so abusable even in standard now, especially with Overgrowth, since you can reliably ramp into it. And you also have it busted in Demon Hunter with the OTK deck. So they're saying they don't really want to kill the card because, the combo part's cool, but basically only when you play it. And I made a tweet, and I've also suggested this for quite a while. Just make the first third cost spell. Make it so that the third spell you play this turn costs 0. That's it. The one time that turn. And then if it survives, then you can get that effect again the next turn. That way, you can cheat out a Tidal Surge, you can cheat out a UI, and it's still very powerful. It's still probably really too good, but it's not completely broken and just ridiculous. And same within Demon Hunter, you could get the 0 mana +8 attack once, and you're not OTKing your opponent. So I think that would be a good change. And yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff they mentioned there. I'll put a link to the AMA in the description below. But I thought I'd go over the balance changes stuff that they had suggested, because, I mean, the meta in both Standard and Wild is pretty awful right now, especially in Wild with Quest Mage and Darkest Hour. So I'm looking forward to seeing what will change. I didn't really make a video or any really outrageous tweets or anything about fixing Wild recently because, well, I figured the first official balance patch of this rotation would include Wild. The last official patch for Wild, or for Standard, included the Snip Snap nerf. They have been actively nerfing Wild in their official patches, and I think that will continue to be a thing as long as there is something completely broken in Wild. So, good on the team. They're definitely keeping up with Wild a bit better, and that's why I really haven't been as critical lately. You know, I am a very critical dude, but when they're doing a good job, they're improving things, I'm not going to be critical about it. That's what happens. You do a good job, I'm not going to complain, so... Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys are excited to see what the changes will do to the meta. I will likely be returning to Wild and making some videos there soon, so keep a lookout for that. So yeah, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.